What are you seeking? Stay tuned. There's a concept in NLP called a core question. And this was created by Connirae and Steve Andreas. And what it's about is looking into certain contexts in your life and finding the question that you're asking yourself. This is primarily unconscious, or for the most part, it's usually unconscious. And the importance of this is the more you can make your core questions conscious, the more likely you can find answers and fulfilling answers and really find what you're seeking. Best way for me to explain what a core question is, or to give you an example of one, is one that one of my film professors when I was in film school explained. And he didn't know NLP and he didn't know what core questions were, but he had stumbled upon a theory that exposes this idea of a core question. So it didn't just come from NLP people necessarily. I believe that this is something that exists within us. The way he explained filmmakers, really great filmmakers, auteur filmmakers as they might call them, is that any great filmmaker, if you look at all of their films, you can see them asking a question. You can see them struggling with a question that pervades all of their films. There's a theme that runs through all of their work of the question that they're asking themselves. And usually it's about life, it's about art. One of the directors he used as an example is one of my favorite directors, Stanley Kubrick. Stanley Kubrick made movies like The Shining, A Clockwork Orange, 2001, A Space Odyssey. Kubrick was a very intense filmmaker who spent years on his movies, and they're all masterpieces. My professor said that what he noticed in Kubrick's films is that every one of his films, he is struggling with the idea, or struggling with what is more powerful in man. Is man's destructive side more powerful, or is his loving side more powerful? And that was the question he was constantly trying to answer in every one of his films. I thought this was fascinating. I wasn't sure that I quite agreed with it when I first heard it. I went and rented all of Stanley Kubrick's movies and watched all of them. And as I watched them, I understood what my professor had seen, because it was true. Now, there were other themes in these movies, but clearly in every single one of them, there is that theme of a person, the main character usually, struggling with this idea of what's more powerful, love or destruction, or where are they coming from? Are they destroying themselves, or are they moving towards love and connecting with other people? Sometimes these movies were not just about one character. That theme was more about society. Clockwork Orange is a good example of that. My professor went on to say that he was delighted that Kubrick's last film, Eyes Wide Shut, with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, there's an answer there. Kubrick comes up with an answer. And refreshingly, the answer is in the very last line of the movie by Nicole Kidman. I won't give it away. And it's obvious that Kubrick has made a decision here, that the loving side of man is more powerful than the destructive side of man. And it's a beautiful ending to an illustrious career, a true artist. Core question works like this. Take a specific area, specific context of your life. It could be professional, it could be personal. And look at that situation and ask yourself, what is the question you might be asking yourself? And before you even do that, how do you represent this context? So say if it's work, if I'm representing my professional context, what do I see? Do I see an image, or do I hear something, or both? Do I see myself doing these videos, and do I hear my voice? Or do I see myself teaching in front of people and then also hear my voice? Or do I see the people who I'm teaching? Or do I see the person who I'm coaching? And you want to take note of this, and you also want to take note of the submodalities. And then write down a few possible questions. You're not going to nail this probably the first time. You're not going to nail the core question right away. Sometimes, and most of the time, it takes looking into it a little bit. It takes digging into this and going really deep down and finding that core question. When you find the core question, you'll usually know it by thinking of the representation, if it's visual, auditory, or both, and asking the question. And if the representation does not change, you probably found the core question. If the representation does change, it probably means you're asking a different question. That's not quite a core question. When you discover your core question, you might also discover that you can better able find answers to that core question. And if that question changes, then it means you're evolving, and it might not actually be a core question, because core questions tend to be those questions that don't change. It's kind of like a theory or a thesis. It's something that's open-ended and can constantly be delved into deeper and understood deeper. If you find that you find answers to the question and it changes, that's good. You're probably going to move deeper into the core question. The answers you receive don't change, you probably hit a core question that you've been asking yourself. And the beauty about this is now you're touching upon what could be your calling, your purpose, your life's work, something that you're always going to be asking and something that you're always going to be answering. Just finding an answer doesn't shut down the question. And if it does, then it's not a core question, because as long as you're alive, life is living, and there's no conclusion to it until it's actually done. Thinking about what is the question you'll be asking yourself for the rest of your life, and you will answer for the rest of your life. That is the journey. And as you've heard probably many times, it's not a destination. It is indeed a journey. Check out our website, nlp-gym.com. Follow us on Facebook for real-time updates on upcoming workshops and also free practice sessions that I hold right here in Santa Cruz. If you like this video, please click like right down here and leave me a question or leave a comment. I will follow up with you. Stay tuned to the end of this video so you can get your hands on a free online NLP training. Take care.